with authority.
It is another edition of the With Authority Quarantine Series. Larry Beal, Casey Pratt, Chris Alvarez, and our special guest, 49ers running back Raheem Mostert, joining us from Cleveland, of all places, which we'll discuss Cleveland in a little bit. But anyway, great that you could join us as we count down actually to the NFL draft. And I wanted to get your thoughts on this because I was doing a bunch of research over the weekend. What was happening at Purdue? Because I'm looking at, you played wide receiver, running back, safety, special teams, and it seems like I don't want to bash your coaches, but they had no idea what to do with you. They were moving you around all over the place. And what was your mindset? Because you didn't get enough carries to be a standout feature, but you clearly are an NFL talent. So what was in your mind going into that week knowing, geez, I know I'm good enough to play, but I'm not sure that the numbers represent that?
Yeah, for me, my entire career has basically been an underdog mentality. And when I went to Purdue, I was fortunate to get a scholarship by them. And yeah, I remember just loving the atmosphere, the visit and everything like that was amazing. And so even the coaching staff, Danny Hope was the head coach at the time, and he was a Florida guy just like me. And so I felt like it was family. 2 years later, he had got the boot, and it was just unfortunate, And then I was also dealing with, at the time, I tore my PCL, so I really didn't have an impactful freshman year. And then my sophomore campaign, I tear my PCL and, come back the last game against Indiana and try to, prove myself. And hopefully this new coaching staff that comes in really respects me and stuff like that, and I'll be able to, start making some plays in the offense. Well, we got Coach Hazel, and he was a great coach. The only thing is he never gave me the opportunity. I went from playing a receiver under Danny Hope to going to Hazel and asking if I could play. I made the decision that I was going to play running back my junior year because they weren't really looking at me as a receiver. I was literally at the bottom of their thoughts about me playing at the receiver position. So I went to running back, switched to running back, and try to make a name for myself more or less. And I took track to relieve some more stress, to get away from football because, like I said, I wasn't dealing with the ideal situation at the time. So track was my only other way to get away from, the thought of not playing the right position and the coaching staff dealing with stress. So,
what convinced you that you could make the NFL? Because you just weren't getting enough reps in college. Were some people perceiving, oh, he's a track guy, so we don't know, how he would.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation that, hey, my heart was on track, and that was because of what I was doing at the time. Being a 4-time Big Ten champ and all that type of stuff really caught a lot of people's eye as far as the track world. But that wasn't my passion. My passion is football, and it's always going to be football. And so for me, I just wanted to go into the whole process of, the draft and everything like that, combine, and really have an appreciation for myself and have pride for myself that I'm able to play at that high of a level. But, other teams really didn't see it that way. That's why I didn't get drafted. And I didn't have enough stats to back it up. My junior year wasn't ideal. And then my senior year, I was the lead back going into the season. But I think after about 5 games, I lost my role to the coaches' players, basically. And it was just one of those things where I knew if there was any way I was going to make it, it was going to be on special teams. And that was no given, I'm really good at special teams. I felt like I'm the best. I still feel like I'm the best to ever do it. And that's just my mentality that I've always had, going into it.
Well,
I find
great
it
story.
hard that people would question your commitment to the game of football. I mean, you could have been a pro surfer. You turned down a pro surfing contract. You could have been a track star. You stuck with football through all the thick and thin and all the tough times. I mean, all the times that you were cut and you persevered. So, I mean, how crazy is it to think that you went undrafted and now look at you after everything you've been through?
Yeah, it's crazy to think about it, but at the same time, I'm actually truly blessed, with the path that I've taken. You can never predict your path in life, and for me, that's what I've always lived by. Yeah, I've went through some tough times being on 6 different teams prior to coming to the Niners, and for me, I just looked at it as a challenge. I'm always going to step up to a challenge, whether that be anything from playing basketball, even though I know I don't have the best shot in the world. It's the competitiveness in me that really gives me that edge to keep going and keep fighting no matter what.
Was surfing, I mean, something that you used as an escape too? Do you still have the ability to surf even though you're on a pro football contract now?
Yeah, surfing was definitely a big getaway for me, especially growing up. I didn't have the ideal, home and stuff like that. And for me, I always loved going outside, going to the beach, and that was my sanctuary. And surfing and skateboarding both were my getaway. I was really good at it, and to this day, I still can surf, but not because of I can't because of my contract, but I still can do it though. Maybe that'd be something when I'm done playing football, where I try to pursue a career or something like that. And who knows?
Raheem, I was just watching on Facebook your highlights from the NFC Championship game where you broke out, and I think you said along the lines of you look at every date you got cut before a game. Can you describe to the fans why you do that and why it's important to you to get you fired up for a game?
Yeah, so those cut dates, I have them on my notes in my iPhone, and yeah, for me it's one of those things where I look at those dates and it just reminds me of the journey I went through. And I always try to tell people never lose sight of that journey, because that journey can ultimately help you build your career or help you build what's at stake in the future. And for me, every time I look at those dates, it just gives me a reminder like, hey, I wasn't good enough for this team. And I learned some life lessons. I met some good friends. I had a great time there, or I didn't have such a good time. And look at me now. Look where I'm at now. I'm blessed to be in this position. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to still be on the roster. And I just take all those little things into account, because, like I said, it's just you never really know in life where your career is going to take you, especially in the football world. And I don't take it for granted at all.
Raheem, also, it's almost been 11, 12 weeks since the Super Bowl. Right away after you guys came back, I think George Kittle was the guy who said this is a legendary revenge tour. Mm-hmm. You guys were so close. How do you take that feeling of last year into this season when you guys get back on the field?
Yeah, I mean, George hit it right on the mark, not only for himself, but for the rest of the squad, because we really do feel like we have some unfinished business. And you can ask any one of those guys, and they'll tell you the same thing, that we're too hungry, we're just like stray dogs out there that just really want to go grab something to eat. And yeah, we want to get back to that stage, and we know we got to do some things to make that happen, but we still got to keep that attitude of the hungerness, and just go out there day by day, time by time, week by week, and show everybody what we've been missing out on.
By the way, Raheem, I grew up in Hawaii, so I enjoy surfing just like you do. And when I read that your contract prohibits you from surfing, I thought, this is a miscarriage of justice is what's going on here. This is a terrible thing. And I think I'm going to personally talk to John Lynch about this, because on your behalf, I'm sure you want me to go do that.
It'd be nice, though, to actually get an ear and somebody get in his ear about it, because I do really want to go surfing, man, at times. And yeah, it's one of those things for me. It's just a big relief of, that stress that you build up on, man, just going out into the ocean, man, and just even hearing the waves crash, man, is just a authentic feeling.
I saw the video of you surfing in Waikiki, And you know what? I mean, just put in a provision that, it's waves 2 to 3 feet or less. You don't have to surf the bonsai pipeline, but just to get out in some warm water, ankle snappers, that sort of thing, just to get up on the board and cruise on in. You're not going to get hurt doing that. You can get hurt in your kitchen worse than any of those waves are going to hurt you. Although out there's a lot of people who can't surf that will go crashing into you. There is a little danger. You have to be elusive. You have to show some shiftiness. But I saw the Pat McAfee interview that you did a few days ago, and you said that you were posting notes around your house like these are your goals. So what are the goals, and where around your house are you, like, if you got up right now, where's the closest note in your house?
So I actually haven't had time to write those down yet. I'm still going to be working on them right up until the season. Just trying to have some type of a vision of what I want to do with this upcoming season, and basically pan out the rest of my career. I went on the show and Pat asked me those questions. I told him one thing that is for sure that I want to accomplish in life is to be a Hall of Famer. That's always been my goal, more so than winning the Super Bowl. And, that's just been my mentality since I was a little boy, man, just watching everybody else, like Emmitt Smith and those guys, Edgerrin James finally getting into the Hall of Fame. And, for me, it was just like, hey, why can't I be one of those guys, why settle for something so small? I mean, the Super Bowl is not small, but in my eyes, I don't want to just settle just for the Super Bowl win and be a champ. I want more than that. I want to be a Hall of Famer someday. And special teams, if that's the case, or even at running back or whatever position I play, that's how I've always been when I was young.
Yeah, I can imagine you need to put up all new goals because you obliterated all of them last season. And one thing that I found really interesting is, even though you really arrived last year on the national landscape, we'd been watching you all year as a running back, you still want to be a Pro Bowler at special teams, right? So that's something you still take an incredible amount of pride in.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because that's where I started out. Even at Purdue, I was even in high school, I had like 14 kickoff returns for touchdowns my junior and senior year. So it's been one of those things for me where I've always taken pride in special teams, and I've always wanted to be a dominant returner. I love kick return. That's who I am, But yeah, I take pride in those things. I still want to be a Pro Bowler in special teams no matter what.
Now, I still think that this kind of speaks to the selflessness of you and your teammates, because you look at that running back group, and in a way it was the hot hand that went, and I didn't really see or even hear of anybody saying, like, where are my touches? I need my numbers. I need this and that. And that was kind of something that carried on throughout the 49ers team. So how great has the team chemistry of this team been, especially under Kyle Shanahan? I know you were also there under the Chip Kelly regime too.
Yeah, it's a brotherhood. It's family. We don't look at each other and say me, I, in the running back room especially. We all want to succeed, and I want to see everybody else succeed, whether they play for us and then move on or they're still with us, just like how Emmanuel Sanders had signed a contract with the Saints. I'm more so happy that, he's still able to live out his dream, and hopefully he can get another championship. It's just one of those things that, that helps build a team up, is the camaraderie, the morale, all the positivity. That's what we have in the locker room. And like I said, nobody's really down on not having enough touches or not having enough tackles or not having enough interceptions. Everybody's competitive and they're smart, and, we're all just together.
Raheem, that being said, we all know this is a business. You guys had a great team last year, but you've already lost some guys. You're going to gain some guys. It's kind of the way the business of football. You're not making the picks, but what do you think this team needs to you guys are so good, but to put you over the top and win the big game next year?
Well, coming off that Super Bowl run, one thing that I would say is I feel like we have what we need. Now it's a matter of let's just amp it up even more, get more guys in the building, to compete and to adapt to our culture and our winnings and let's try to make another run at the Super Bowl. Whoever comes into the locker room, just know that they have to deal with the type of men that we have in that locker room, and that we're all about winning and helping each other out and getting better.
How fun is it to play in Kyle Shanahan's offense? It's so creative and multifaceted. I mean, I watch from afar and I'm like, this looks amazing. You guys are so well executed in your blocks and your schemes and the unselfishness. So how fun is it to play in that system?
It's really fun, especially when you have all 11 guys, all 53 or however many guys on the team, all connected as one. That's definitely what we have. You look at the offense and you can't say that it was just one guy that was out there doing everything. It was a multitude of guys that were going out there and giving their all and putting their best foot forward. I mean, KB on third downs, Kittle whenever you needed Kittle, against the Saints, Tevin, Matt, I mean, even Ross Dwelly, and Emmanuel, everybody. So it's like, we all have a role to play in the offense, and we love playing that role, and we all want to do great for each other.
So you're a 4.3 40 guy. You talked about track. So you're one of those dudes that like wakes up in the morning and you're fast, which is a great thing. It's got to be great just to roll out of bed and go, yeah, I could run a 4.3 right now. But what does your quarantine workout consist of these days? Because it's a little bit more challenging.
Yeah. Well, when I first wake up, my quarantine workout starts with my kid running around grabbing him. But nah, I mean, right now I'm just doing all the right things. I have my home gym set up and I'm doing back squat. I'm doing front press. I'm doing everything right now. Curls. I'm even doing more so running outside. At this time I usually do more burst and agility things. Now I'm actually doing miles. So it's a little bit different of a pace of off season, but I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do in order to be great. So,
yeah. So years ago, Jerry Rice told me you could always tell who was fast before you saw him on the field. He said, look for the guys with the biggest calves, and that's a fast dude right there. And I was like, what? So how big are your calves? Is that true? Is there anything to this, or was he just messing with me the whole time?
Most of that's true, because I know I got some small calves. I mean, my wife beats me in calf the way they look, just because she's a soccer player, so her calves are a little bit different. She's always running, so yeah. For me, I don't know. I would say it's thighs and calves for sure, but my calves aren't that big. Everybody usually says that I have stick legs. Yeah.
I was going to say, take me behind the scenes a little bit inside the home front, because you have a little one now that is up and walking, right, and probably running based on your athletic background. So how much has that become a game changer for you, and how much of a hero is your wife right now? Because I know that while she, helped you through all the different tough times as well, that she must be really taking on a whole lot of this burden right now.
Yeah, she is a phenomenal woman. She does so many right things, and she never feels pressured at any time, and that's just how she is. She's been built like that since she was a little girl. The stories I hear about her and stuff when growing up, and how tough she is, and playing soccer and taekwondo. She's actually a black belt in taekwondo. So, yeah, she has the heart of a lion, man. She really does, and just having our son around is just in awe for her. She loves it, man, and she spends every second with him. We always fight, who's gonna say mama or dad at first, and I'm one up right now, but she's a little agitated at it, and that's just a competitiveness she has in her. But yeah, she does a phenomenal job, man, and yeah, it was tough for her when I was getting released from all those teams, but if you have a ride or die type of chick, they're willing to go bat for you any day, and she definitely has done that. Moving from Miami back to Baltimore, having to pack the whole apartment up and driving up from there, by herself with the dog was a little bit challenging for her, but she always manages, and it also helps that her family helps as well too. So I'm really close with her parents.
Raheem, did you get your hair cut? Where'd you get your hair cut at? I mean, according
Actually, I cut it myself, man.
What's that?
I cut it myself.
Oh, I'm on that program too, man.
And my wife just cut mine last night. Actually, she did a pretty good job.
Where did you go to get your, like, what did you look up, or you already know how to do this?
Well, I've been doing it for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, just cut myself when I need to. But my wife actually did the back and everything, and it turned out pretty good. I'm proud of her.
Yeah, you're looking.
First time cutting my hair, she was like, "Hey, just let me try it out."
You're looking fresh. Any new hobbies you picked up during quarantine?
Right now, you see this mic right in front of me. I'm starting to stream video games.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to connect with people. So I'm trying to do that whole deal. Just trying to bring some positivity, to the fans and stuff. And video games is a way to do that. They can watch how I play and watch how my friends play and stuff like that. And I will probably sometime soon we'll be doing like this COVID donation fund, just to help out people, who's dealing with this COVID-19 pandemic. Just if you subscribe to my channel or something like that, I'll probably pick a random fan and have like an hour or something like that with them every hour, just to play a game with them and stuff. And hopefully I bring in something, to help out people with the COVID-19. I haven't officially launched that yet, but it's just an idea, so that way I can get it going.
That leads me real quick to my next question. The 49ers have this I Got Your Back program. They're really establishing that. What does it say about the franchise that they've been so out in front of this thing and trying to help people in any way they can?
Yeah, the organization, they do a great job, not only for something like this, but, all around, whether that's just helping children, helping people who need it at all times. I mean, when I'm over there in Cali, just doing community service, reaching out to community relations, they're doing all types of stuff for Thanksgiving dinners and teaching kids how to read, or, going to juvenile centers and talking with kids, and just all that type of stuff, man. They really hone in on that type of craft, and they're top notch when it comes to stuff like that.
So fill in the blank for me. When you saw Christian McCaffrey was getting $16 million a year, your reaction was blank.
My reaction was not surprised, because he's a great player. And he's just setting a bar for us running backs to, get paid, especially when we're dealing with a type of NFL and a type of where it's just a passing league. And, we do a lot, whether that's blocking, running, and catching out of the backfield. And he's definitely setting the mark for not only running backs, but for guys that could play up to his caliber.
I feel like you were self-editing there, because I know your reaction was.
Oh, yeah. My reaction was like, oh, my gosh. That was amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, the one thing we have to ask about, because we're in uncharted territory, is, are you sure there's going to be a season? How do you prepare when you don't have OTAs, everything's wiped away from the schedule, you don't know that there's really going to be a training camp? There's rumors that, okay, whatever sport starts up, it may be without fans. Can you see yourself playing a game in an empty stadium, that sort of thing? How do you stay focused and say, okay, I got to grind through this workout because we are going to have a season, and know that with conviction?
Yeah, well, my whole mindset is stay prepared, no matter what, whether we do have a season or not. That's just always going to be implanted in me, just to always be prepared no matter what outcome there is. I know there's going to be some decisions that's going to be made, as far as the season, but right now we can't predict that. We can't, go ahead and say, hey, look, 10 weeks from now, we're going to start giving it a go to try to practice and see how many people can be in the stands for a preseason game, we never know. We don't know necessarily what's going to take place here in the near future. But I will say you have to be prepared no matter what. Whether we do have a season or not, it's going to be interesting to say the least. But we'll see. I don't know necessarily the answer to that. Just I know that I'm going to be prepared whether we play or not.
Before we let you go, I don't want to let you go before asking, where do you plan to start that streaming channel? Is that going to be a Twitch thing? Is that going to be a YouTube thing? And what are the games that you like to play the most? Because I'm a gamer myself, so I like to hear what everyone else is playing.
Yeah, so it's gonna be on Twitch. I just started doing the whole Twitch thing, trying to set up my page and stuff. I'm getting in contact with a couple buddies of mine that know the Twitch lingo. And I play all types of games, whether that be FIFA, 2K, Call of Duty, whatever, NHL. If anybody wants to play NHL, I play that as well. So very versatile in the gaming world, but I just like to play games and stuff like that and just hang out with people and just talk.
Raheem, did you watch The Last Dance last night? Are you interested in that?
I did watch The Last Dance, but I didn't watch it when everybody else did. I watched it I finished the second episode around 2:00 last night.
Okay.
And, I was hanging out with the wife and she fell asleep on. We actually watched Bad Boys, the new Bad Boys, and that was pretty cool too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you see Larry Beal's big cameo in The Last Dance? He was prominently featured in the.
Oh, he was? I gotta check you out next time.
16-minute mark of episode 1. 20 years ago.
1609.
1609.
I don't know. It's the Sports Center anchor.
Was before? How old are you?
I'm 28.
All right, so you were like 8 years old when I was doing Sports Center back at ESPN. So they took a little clip, and now these clowns like to make fun of me.
Yeah.
No, I'm not making funny. I thought it was cool.
Oh, that's the coolest thing ever.
About that?
What's that?
Can I ask you a question about that?
Of course, you're the star of the show. You could ask whatever you want.
No, so how did it feel watching him play, like when he was in his prime? Like back then.
He was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, the funniest thing is, like, people get into these debates and, like, your generation would say, well, you grew up on Kobe and LeBron.
I was more Kobe. Yeah.
Well, Kobe copied almost all of Jordan's moves, especially like the fadeaway. So, I mean, you could go back if, like, NBA Entertainment has all the footage of Kobe showing how he copied Michael's stuff, because they're basically the same size, body frame kind of thing. Yeah. But when I watched the first few minutes of the show, I was like, wow, I forgot how great how ridiculous he was. Yeah. It was like the whole stadium, the whole arena, when it's a 1-point game, everybody knew who was getting the ball because he was the man, and it didn't matter because he would just find a way, like against Cleveland. I didn't even show that yet. There's so many more episodes to come, but Craig Elo is guarding him like as close as you can guard him, and he stops on a dime, and Elo flies by, and then he just rises up, and it's just so pure. He was ridiculous. I mean, just at another level. Even Magic and Larry would say, yeah, that's the dude right there.
Yeah, because I remember watching him when I was, like around 7, 8, and, I was like, hey, he's amazing, but I didn't really see him how, like, before I was born, the type of player he was. That'd have been nice to experience something like that. Just watching his documentary is just like, wow, there's a lot of people that's just come out to watch him. And what was it, like 18,000 showed up, or it was like something like 18,000 showed up at the arena for one game, and then all of a sudden it just blew out of proportion. It was sold out the next.
Yeah,
it was crazy. I couldn't believe something like that happened just for one player.
Yeah, he was so clearly the dominant guy in the league, and that's why you have the whole sneaker line and everything. I mean, he's making, I think, $100 million a year just off of Nike still today, and hasn't played in an eternity. So it just shows you the strength of how good he was and how long not good, amazing, great, ridiculous. Like what? How? Like no. It's Michael.
Now I will say, watching that, I felt bad for Scottie Pippen, man. I was really feeling Scottie Pippen just because he was like the same caliber as Michael in some facet, of the game, but it was just like he wasn't getting noticed like Michael was, and then his contract and all that stuff. I was just like, man, it's really some deep stuff here.
But one thing, in the long run, Scottie did make a lot of money.
Yeah, he did.
I think he made over $100 million when all was said and done, and so he's fine. He's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's going to be okay.
He's going to get by. Yeah.
Raheem, is there someone that either athlete or celebrity that you want to meet, or someone you're in awe of when you see them perform on their stage, whether that's athletics or concerts? Or is there someone for you?
It's kind of weird. I do want to see Khabib, the fighter. The MMA
Okay.
fighter. Yeah, I just like his attitude. He's just hungry. I don't know, him and the lioness. I forget her name. But she's what's her name?
Are you talking about an MMA fighter?
Yeah.
Like Amanda Nunes or
Nunes. Yeah, Amanda Nunes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely want to see her fight. I think she's just setting the bar so high for like females as far as the fighting world, and she's just so dominant, man. Every time she steps in the arena, she really acts like she's a lion.
Yeah. Oh, you like the Lions? I mean, you got that behind you.
Yeah, my wife actually picked that one out for the office.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Have you watched Tiger King since we're on the Animal Kingdom circuit here?
Yeah, I definitely did. It was pretty good. It was definitely good.
Could you identify with any of those characters at all?
There you go.
Larry was begging for the Tiger King background. I could tell.
Oh, that is Casey busting that out all the time. That's so fantastic. But it's funny. You've lived in a lot of different places, though, so you could I've been in Hawaii and California for a long time. So when I see some other parts of the country, like if you showed me those people and said, here's a script and this is what we're going to put, I'd say, come on, these people don't exist? Really?
Yeah.
Apparently they do.
Hey, they do. Yeah. I was more shocked in the whole the Tiger King when what was the other lady's name?
Carol.
Carol, yeah. I was like, man, she's just as bad as Joe, if anything. Like, she got the animals all caged up too. Well, yeah.
You got to ask your favorite question, Casey.
Oh, we had Evander Kane of the San Jose Sharks on, and like second question into the interview, we started getting into Tiger King, and that lasted a while. But did she feed her husband to the Tigers? What do you think?
Oh, I definitely agree that she did. How did that man just end up gone? Like, and then she didn't know anything about it. I don't know. I really don't know. It was actually a good question. Yeah, I can go both ways, honestly. I feel like she did, but I also feel like somebody else was trying to get him, for his money. You never know. We'll never know.
Yeah, since we've gone fully off the rails here, I have a green screen here. Check this out. My cat just sleeping there.
Yeah.
I keep thinking she's gonna bust out of there, but she's so lazy that I know that she'll stay there.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I got an English bulldog. He's sleeping right now. All he does is just flop on the floor, man, all sprawled out and just hangs out. So I know how it is, being lazy.
For sure.
Raheem, how much do you listen to music? Does it pump you up? And I mean, guys like Kendrick and some of those guys that dance on your team really get into it. So how important is that for you as you get ready for a game? Do you have a playlist?
Yeah, I do have a playlist, and it does get me pumped up. But actually, this past year, I wasn't listening to music all that much right before a game, surprisingly. Usually I'm always listening to a game, or music, but this time I was just honing in on my craft, man, and just, talking to myself and just being peaceful, being at peace with myself before a game, and that really helped.
Yep.
I want to wrap it up with, I know you watch a lot of film, just not of yourself. Who have you watched film of this off season that you found inspiring?
So I've been going on YouTube right now, and I've been watching Priest Holmes a lot. That's just, I feel like me and him can relate so very well, just because he was overlooked at some point in his career, and he just kept fighting no matter what, and you see how great of a back he was. I watch him. I got Frankie G on my iPad. I constantly watch Frankie G almost every day. I put
Is
in
that Frank Gore?
Yeah, Frank Gore. Yeah. And then LT, I watch LT too. And I would see if I could reach out to the video guys and see if they can send me some Edgerrin James as well. Just I like all those type of guys, man. All those backs. Just go back there and just reference how they play and see all the minute details of footwork and everything and how they block, and that just, for me, it just helps me create who I want to be.
What I just flashed on this. So you're talking about YouTube stuff. The one thing you got to check out, years ago, the NFL used to do this competition called the NFL's Fastest Man. And so Darryl Green was a cornerback for the Redskins, and he was like the fastest dude in the league for the longest time. But they would get every guy out there and run 40s. You just look up on YouTube NFL's Fastest Man, and it was so much fun back in the day to watch that. Nowadays the agents would go, well, my guy might tear a quad. I don't want him to run all this. But it was simple. It was a simpler time. So guys would be doing that. Would you run? Would you like to do something like, who's faster than you? Nobody.
For me, I would say nobody's faster than me. My resume speaks for itself. I don't have anything else to prove. But if somebody would want to challenge me, I would be up for the challenge. But it would only be a certain terms. I don't know. I guess you would say. I don't really like. I don't like throwing money involved or anything like that. If it was for a charity or something like that, I'd probably do it more so. Just because it's for a good cause. But I don't know. I feel like I'm the fastest man in the NFL, and like I said, I'll let that be the end of that, because nobody really has challenged me or anything like that per se. But I don't need to be challenged when my resume already speaks for itself. So
I'd put money down just to watch you and Marquise Goodwin go, like best 3 out of 5, and see how that works out.
Oh yeah. Marquise will be a good race. That would be, for sure.
Well, I hope we see that someday, and I hope we see you carrying the football and playing this season in a real season, and the 49ers trying to go back to the Super Bowl again. Really appreciate your time, and the second you start your charitable effort, whether it's on Twitch or however you want to do it, make sure that the 49ers, they do a great job anyway, the PR staff, letting us know so we can pump up the cause and get the word out.
For sure. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure always.
Yeah.
Thanks, Raheem.
Can't wait to see you again. All right, take care. Raheem Mostert, enjoy the off season. All right.
With authority.